Hi, my name's Laura Barman, and I'm a homeschooling mom of 5 kids. Last school year, I had a 5th grade girl, a 3rd grade girl, a 1st grade boy, a K3 girl, and a 1-year-old girl. We did a lot of individual stuff, as mentioned in my previous videos, but we did do some stuff together. And it definitely was more challenging this year with the addition of the 1-year-old baby who was there the previous year, but was a newborn. And so I would say this was a challenging year to do anything as a family. It was just because, being all together meant the baby was there too most of the time. So anyways, that was a challenge. I ended the year feeling like we hadn't done nearly enough as a family. So doing this video is encouraging because I'm seeing that over the course of the year, we did do some things as a family. The first thing that we did is CC memory work. It was cycle 2. We love the CC memory work. And as far as like materials, I just have the foundations guide. And then I made these notebooks for the kids. And this is not for the correct year, but at some point I made notebooks for the kids with a bunch of page protectors where there's like the Bible memory, and these are just photocopied out of the foundations guide. I have the Bible memory on a page. I have these are from the proof tables in the back of the foundations guide, the math, the history, and all the subjects. And then you can actually use like a dry erase marker to mark your progress. So as I had like a couple of kids that were trying to work towards Memory Master, that was the way that we studied that throughout the year. And I got a really good tip because this was the first year that we attempted Memory Master. And we didn't end up doing it. They ended up telling me some of the subjects and not all of them, but we count that as a win because we had never even done that. So the suggestion that was given to me was start at the beginning of the year. When you do week 1, also do week 24. And when you do week 2, also do week 23. When you do week 3, do week 22. And so that really, really helped us to get a head start on the memory work at the back half of the year. And I think that's the only way that they were able to do the subjects that they were able to do. So we normally review this in the morning. We love to use YouTube videos. We love to do as many things to songs as possible. I really like YouTube videos because there's normally like a visual and an audio, and it's super easy. It's normally like playing while they're eating breakfast or maybe right before breakfast. So we really like that. We also would sometimes slow down a little bit and like take out these geography maps, which are sold on the CC website. And I love these. These are really big. And so there's the white, the black line maps, which, you can quiz yourself after you've studied, and then the colorful ones that you use while you're learning. So we really like these. I had really wished I had one for every kid. And that's my note to self, is make sure you have a set of these for every kid, because we were sharing and it was okay, but it was challenging at times. We also love this Draw to Learn, and I actually made this. This is actually my first product. This was not the first product, but this is my first Etsy product. It's how to draw all the science memory work. So for example, for the science memory work, the phases of the moon, here is a how to draw step-by-step guide. It looks like someone got marker on that. I'm gonna try to find one that doesn't have marker on it. Here's one. So here is a step-by-step, the states of matter. There's going to be some things in red that you are adding, the things that are in red, the things that are in black are things that you've already drawn. And then at the end, here's the picture that you're going to draw. And then, which actually my 4-year-old or 3-year-old uses these as coloring pages. And then here is the colored version of the thing when you're all said and done. And I don't know if that's backwards for you, but anyways, that gives you an idea. So I have 4 of these binders. I had 4 of these binders last year because I had 4 kids that were able to do this. 3 of them were drawing, 1 of them was coloring, but I just printed off the whole file. I put it in like the skinniest binder that I could find. So that was really easy to pull off the shelf. I have other videos that are like flip throughs of that. In the morning, we also started watching World Watch, which we absolutely loved. And that was a new addition to our homeschool this year, and we will definitely continue that with current events. We did Bible, and we have always done a Becca Bible, and we used the 1st grade curriculum. I had used 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 4th grade, and then I went back to 1st grade because it's actually, if you look at the Becca Bible curriculum, the 5th grade Bible curriculum is pretty much the same as the 1st grade curriculum, except they add like 1 or 2 things. So I just went back and added what they added for the 5th grade, but I just kind of used the same teacher guide for 1st grade, if that makes sense. We didn't follow the pacing exactly, which is basically what this is. It's the pacing, and it has some songs and it has some catechisms in there. If you do this teacher plan, it takes closer to like 30 minutes, and they do a ton of review and they do tests. So we did not follow this to a T, but we did do all of these Bible books, which are just awesome. These are, you know, I'll show you all of them, but basically there's like a picture that you show, which is just an 8.5 by 11, but there's multiple pictures per lesson, and I just really love how realistic and pretty they are, and I love the lessons, how really, really detailed they are, and they go into a ton of depth. They have application. It really gets you thinking. There's comprehension questions. It's just great to do as a family. We have absolutely loved that. So the first series was like the beginning of the Bible, some Old Testament stuff, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Joseph, and then after that you go on to I think they start with the Salvation series, and then you go to a Thanksgiving one, and then you do Christmas, and then you go into the life of Jesus, which is 5 books. That's really just New Testament focused, and then this hits right around Easter, and then there's also the life of Paul. The life of Paul and the life of Paul part 2, which is basically Acts, is what they added for the 5th grade level. So to get through these, you have to go at a little faster pace. We also did, for the beginning of the day, we did the Millers. So we had story time with the Millers, and these are just like character-based moral stories with a Bible verse, and a lot of them are like a dad telling a story to their kids and relating it to a Bible verse. So my kids really, really enjoyed these. This is definitely probably for the younger ones, the story time with the Millers, but all my kids liked it. Prudence with the Millers, I think, is based on just like health, safety, and courtesy, all based on scripture. Every little story is based on scripture. And then the wisdom is all based on Proverbs. So I really like that one. This is one that we're planning to do next that we have not done yet, missionary stories with the Millers. We also, that was pretty much our morning, was like CC memory work, World Watch, and Bible. And I also mentioned in my 5th graders video that towards the end of the year, I had her just start reading through the Bible. And she would write in a journal about it and do like write down maybe her favorite verse from the chapter she read, and try to write some application about that and what it taught her about God, and then write a sentence about like a prayer response. So that's called either the SOAK method, and there's other videos online about it. And or I learned it as a HEAR journal, HEAR, which stands for highlight a verse from that chapter or whatever reading you're doing, explain the chapter in verse or just the verse that you highlighted, apply it to your life, and then respond in a prayer. And I've used it for years in my discipleship group, or just years on my own. I highly recommend that method. I really just need to do a different video about that because I really love that. That was our morning, and then another group thing that we did was history, and we just used Story of the World, book 2, and we really, really liked it. I had done this before when my kids were a lot younger, and I think we just all got a lot more out of it this time. I was glad that we had done it when they were younger. I think when my oldest was in 2nd grade, but we came back around at these older ages, and I just feel like everything was just clicking a lot better. And maybe that's because we had done it before, or maybe it's just because they were older and could understand it better. I also did tests this time around. So we would ask the questions afterwards, which that's in the activity guide, I believe. So I would ask the questions from the activity guide or like the teacher guide. And sometimes we would narrate, sometimes not. I want to get better at the narration part of it, but we always did the comprehension questions, and then I always printed off these tests for my older 2 daughters, and then would correct them, and that was their history grade. So I felt like between the reading, the comprehension questions, and the tests, we had a much better handle on things than when we read it when we were a lot younger. So we also, the Story of the World activity guide is awesome, and I would not want to do it without the activity guide. There's all these coloring pages that a lot of times I would print and have them color. So, it's just we love that history. That's all I have to say about that. For read-alouds, we did Tuttle Twins. We didn't read all of these, but we have over the course of the last couple of years, and I want to say maybe we read like 6 of them, but these are all like business principles, economics, except they're all like, I won't show you every single one. They have a great website, but like inside the book, we did it like in 2 days at lunchtime, like 2 to 3 days max, not spending a ton of time on that. So we would read that, and then they also have like a free cartoon online that you can find. So that would sometimes be our reward. If we like read the book, then we would watch the show that went along with it afterwards. We also found that they have these like printable activities through their website. We didn't ever have time to do the printable activities, but they're there if you need something more to do with that. Some of our read-alouds were, we started the year with Little Pilgrim's Progress, which this is like such a nice book. I kind of splurged on this book at the beginning of the year, but I just feel like this is like such a keepsake, and like there's a lot of pictures. It's just such a pretty book. We actually ended up listening to it on audio, but I do have the book. We just tend to like listening to books, and we listen a lot while we're driving, so that's just currently what's working for us. Stories of the Pilgrims is a great one to read around Thanksgiving, which is what we did, and it took us forever to read it. I don't know, I'm thinking it was the 1-year-old again, but there was a lady on YouTube that read it. I think her name's Miss Carla or Grandma Carla, and she did a great job. She read it and also asked the questions, because I love how at the end of each chapter there is also questions for this. So I just felt like we learned so much, and I really, really enjoyed this one. This was a fun, like just funny read, because I felt like we needed something a little lighter. This is McBroom's Wonderful 1 Acre Farm. We did missionary biographies from this series. We did not read this particular book, but we read Hudson Taylor from this series, Christian Heroes Then and Now. We also read some books that had to do with medieval history that we were reading about, and I don't have them on me. I think they must have been library books, but we read Fine Print, which was about Gutenberg's printing press. I highly recommend that book. It was a really, really interesting read aloud, and it wasn't super long, and there was lots of pictures. So I feel like we learned a lot. It was really informative about the printing press. Castle Diary is a part of a series, and it was the diary of like a servant boy during the medieval times. That was really good, and the kids really enjoyed that one. We read Door in the Wall, which was also a medieval like chapter book, and they really enjoyed that one. Could not find it. I don't know where it is. And Jotham's Journey, we read that at Christmas. So that was about it for our read-alouds and our family stuff. I did try to, I don't know if you can see this, but this was like our morning basket, which I just had this like sitting at the kitchen table. And some things that we liked out of here that we didn't finish were just like some Usborne books. I might have finished these. I honestly can't remember, but I was trying to incorporate some things that like my younger kids might like, just with more pictures, just to make it interesting. I have this like Usborne First Book of Nature. So these were things that we would just read like a couple pages out of at a time. We started at the end of the year My Brother's Keeper by Not Consume Ministries. Just because I'm really looking for something like a next step after the Abeka Bible, which are like the straightforward Bible stories. And so I feel like my older kids are ready for like just more of a Bible study instead of the Bible stories. So I'm still trying to figure out how to do that. But that's a great study, and we have enjoyed the few lessons that we've done. We did the Burgess Animal book, and we have started this multiple times. We always really, really enjoy it, but we have never finished it. There's some downloads, like this is called the study guide for the Burgess Animal book for children. I can't remember where I found it, but it's really cool because every chapter there's some pictures of the animal, which I find like to be really, really helpful when reading that book, because each chapter is about just like a slightly different animal from the chapter before. This is something we do at dinner, our 24 Family Ways by Sally and Clay Clarkson, and we really love this. This is another one that's just so good. We have not finished it, but we're most of the way through, and I highly recommend that one. And we have not been nearly as consistent as I want to be with that. But anyways, in this little morning basket, I added some drawing some how to draw books. So we did have that how to draw science that I showed y'all earlier. So my kids just love art. This is a drawing cute with Katie Cook that my oldest daughter really likes. This is like a younger one I can draw, and this is, oh sorry, my first I can draw that my younger kids do really enjoy, and this is called Drawing School. So all of these I just kind of have on the table because it's, I don't know, just fun stuff for them to draw while we're reading. I feel like drawing really helps them out. And then I just also had like a folder with stuff for my youngest daughter to do. I kind of realized like later on in the year that they needed something to do with their hands in order to listen well. So that's still a work in progress, honestly. But if you like this video, please subscribe. I'm gonna hopefully be posting some more videos over the next couple weeks and months about just other homeschool topics. So thanks for joining me, and please comment with any thoughts or suggestions or different things that you've used for your kids with similar ages. I love reading comments on YouTube. Bye.